Today we arrive at Chelsea Football Club on Football Manager 2024. Since taking over at the club, Enzo Maresca has turned the fortunes of Chelsea around, very much on an upward trajectory. Winning games of football, playing good football, and are we now seeing Chelsea reborn? This new look Chelsea team very much like to dominate possession, but they have got the likes of Palmer, Fernandes, Cucurella, Caicedo, who they can look to retain possession, short, sharp passes. And looking at some of the statistics across the season so far, they have some of the most passes in the entire league. So really good with the ball at their feet. The tactical approach moving forward with the ball, it's very, very much Man City-esque, especially with Cucurella looking to get forward, but in to the central of the park. An inverted wing back, looking to link up play with the likes of Fernandes, Caicedo, Jackson, and really looking to have that extra man in midfield all the time, which in turn then Levi Colwill will shift over to the left and cover as a wide centre-back. The other defenders, Adebayo, Fofana, not really too adventurous, looking to get most of their play going through the middle of the park. And Chelsea are able to do that and dominate the centre of the park, no matter home or away. Because out on the wide areas with Sancho, with Madueke, with Mudryk, they really stretch the play, make the pitch as wide as possible. And as they drift out further towards the touchline, in turn then creates that space in the middle of the park for the centre midfielders to really work their magic and cause all sorts of problems for the opposition. Now, striker-wise, I always thought that Nicholas Jackson would be a bit of an issue. I didn't think he was that good, but he's really turned a corner this year, finding himself in good positions in the opposition penalty box, causing and creating problems for the opposition, and most importantly, scoring goals. And I think with Enzo Maresca deploying this tactic, all he really wants from Jackson is just put some pressure on the defenders and score goals. And with that being said, Chelsea find themselves at the top end of the Premier League table this season. 4th position, 7 games, 4 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss there, accumulating 14 points and only 4 points off the top of that table. So very, very much in contention this year. Now let's jump over to FM24 and we're going to have a look at this setup. This is my take on the Enzo Maresca setup at Chelsea. Bear in mind, people read things differently, look at things differently, and of course interpret things a little bit differently to each other as well. This is just what I think it sets up like and how the players play from the research I've done. But anyway, starting off with the setup, it is a 4-2-3-1 vertical tick-attacker. In goal, Sanchez, sweeper keeper support, nothing added onto him. Cucurella at left back, he is an inverted wing back attack. We're going to want him getting forward as much as possible, like he does for Spain. Looks very, very good going forward, looking to get into the middle of that park as well, linking up play with Fernandes and Caicedo and even Palmer as well. On the right hand side, we have an inverted wing back support role for Reece James, whoever it may be out there if Reece James is injured, which tends to be most of the time at the moment. Centre backs, we have a ball playing defender on the left and a central defender defend in the middle, both on defensive duties. But the only difference on this is Levi Colwill will be looking to stay a little bit wider to the left-hand side as Cucurella does go forward and progress into the middle of the field, but nothing added to Diassi at all. Now, the 2 in the middle of the park is none other than Enzo Fernandes, deep line playmaker, support, and the only thing we've added to him is dribble less. We want to really make the most of his passing ability. He's got great technique, great passing, and great off the ball, and also fantastic vision as well. So why do we want him running forward with the ball, dribbling when it's only 13? We want him to pick the pass, which I'm sure he can do from the middle of the park. Really look at the link-up play with the front 4. Next to him is Moises Caicedo, defensive midfield, defend, nothing fancy, pretty much a no-frills defensive midfielder, looking to break up possession for the opposition and win that ball back and set Chelsea on the front foot once again. In the wide areas, starting off on the left-hand side, is Jadon Sancho. And of course, yes, we are going to be playing tick-attack and vertical, which means the play is mostly going to be narrow through the middle of the park. But Chelsea do like to stretch the defence. So that's why we're going to look to get Sancho to stay wider, dribble more, and of course cut inside, running at defenders and causing problems. And on that right-hand side, inside forward, is going to be Mudryk. When Madueke is back fully fit, he will be on that right-hand side. But the only addition is stay wider again. Stretch that play as wide as possible. Stretch the pitch in turn, getting defenders out of position, giving the people in the middle of that park a little bit more room to be able to guide and dictate the tempo of the ball, creating opportunities. Now into the attacking midfielder area brings us to none other than Cole Palmer. Absolutely unbelievable talent, not just for Chelsea, but also going to be a main man for England, I think, in many, many years to come. Now, on this role, he's an attacking midfielder, support with additional instructions of take more risks and roam from position. We want Palmer dropping back a little bit deeper, pick up the ball from Fernandes, from Caicedo, from our inverted wing-backs who will be pressed into that midfield. But he's also then got the opportunity to get further out wide left, further out wide right, and also into the attacking, getting into that box and making himself getting himself into a striker's position as well. He has the quality to do all of that. We really, really want to get the very best out of Cole Palmer. Can we get it on this simulation over the season? Only time will tell. But anyway, on to the last man, but certainly not least. It's the tip of the spear. It is Nicholas Jackson, going to be in a pressing forward role attack. Nothing else added to him at all, just default instructions. On the tactical style, yes, we've touched on it briefly. We are going to be playing the vertical tick-attacker in a positive mentality. In possession, we're going to be looking to focus our play right through the middle, as we do have our main quality through the middle. And of course, then with our inverted wing-backs bombing through as well, we've constantly got the extra man in the centre of midfield. So going to look to really utilise and dominate the middle of the park. We're going to work the ball into the box as we do go forward, looking to get it into feet and create opportunities from inside the area. We don't want to hit anything from outside the box unless absolutely necessary. Passing directness is shorter and tempo slightly lower. Like I said, we want to control that ball. We want to dictate terms, and I think we're going to get that with our setup. Now in the transition, we have counter press. When possession has been lost, that's a given. And when possession has been won, we want to counter. We've got some really, really good players and we want to utilise them, get the ball forward. Can Enzo Fernandez get the ball and manage to ping it out wide to left or right side to Sancho, Madueke, Mudryk and cause problems? Absolutely, we can. And of course, when it comes to distribution, we're going to distribute anywhere across the back four, only with short kicks. Out of possession, high press, of course, from the attackers, higher line of engagement and a higher defensive line. We do have that pace to be able to recover from Cucurella, from Colwell, from Diassi, even James when he's fit. We have that ability. If there are any ball players over the top, we can get back, but also goes hand in hand with having a sweeper keeper. Sanchez will be able to come out and clear any danger. The press is going to be triggered often. We're going to prevent short goalkeeper distribution, making play it long. That's good for us. We can then recycle possession. Of course, I want to stop the crosses as well. I wouldn't say Chelsea are really, really dominant in the air. So if we can look to stop them crosses, we're going to concede less goals. With that being said, the board expectations are as follows. They would like us to qualify for the Europa League. That's a given. We can do that. I reckon we could potentially get into the top four. There's a lot of good teams in this league, but with this Maresca setup, with the players we've got, can we do it? Absolutely. The FA Cup, they would like us to reach the quarter-final. The semi-final in the Europa Conference League, I think potentially we could go on to win that. We'll have to play it as it comes. We have got the players to be able to do that. And the Carabao Cup is not important at all. There's the tactic, guys. Is it going to be an Enzo Maresca Masterclass or is it going to be an absolute disaster? In the Premier League, it's been an absolutely fantastic season. 38 games played, 25 wins, 8 draws, and only the 5 losses, getting a goal difference of plus 21 and 83 points, really pushing Liverpool and Man City in this title race. Nicholas Jackson doing his part, getting 11 goals over the course of the season in 21 games. And at the other end of the field, Philip Jorgensen did take over in between the sticks and got himself 18 clean sheets, second in the table. With this tactic, we did want to dictate the tempo and we was in the top 5 there with 57%. And although not the most potent team in the league, Defensively, we was absolutely superb. In the Conference League, Chelsea did qualify comfortably, getting 16 points from the 6 games with a very, very healthy goal difference. Moving through to the round of 16, getting through on that tie against Legia by 1-0. And the same sort of story for the quarter-final against Slavia Prague, once again with that 1-0 aggregate scoreline. Very, very good defensively. Maybe they could have been a little bit better in front of goal to make the tie a little bit easier. But overall, moving through to that semi-final, where it was a little bit more comfortable against a much better opposition in Fiorentina, winning by 5-1 over 2 legs, which of course then did put Chelsea through to the final. To break the deadlock early on in the game, it was Chelsea, and it was Cole that drove forward, ping one from outside the box, and what a goal. Icardi from the penalty spot though did step up and did level it for Galatasaray. The game did go through to extra time, and up stepped Noni Madueke to put Chelsea back in front. But not long after we scored, up stepped Dries Mertens back to all square. And just as we thought it was going to penalties, up stepped Noni Madueke, and he gave Chelsea that third all-important goal to secure the victory in the final. And the FA Cup did not go to plan. They wanted the quarter-final, wasn't to be, knocked out in the 5th round by Brighton and Hove Albion. Just didn't have the quality on the day, and Brighton struck just before the end of the first half. Enciso with the goal, knocking out Chelsea in the 5th round of the FA Cup. And Chelsea did manage to secure that second piece of silverware for the season, securing a 2-1 victory against Newcastle in the final. Newcastle did strike first in the final with a goal courtesy of Callum Wilson. However, Chelsea did strike back, deflected out, full to Chilwell, 1-1. And approaching the 80th minute now, Reece James into Felix. Palmer finds some space down that right-hand side, deflects to Nkunku, and he puts Chelsea into a 2-1 lead and secures the Carabao Cup. Just as we expected throughout the team, a lot of goals, a lot of assists, plenty of goals from Felix, Jackson, Palmer, assists, wow, absolutely superb from the full-back positions, Reece James and Chilwell. We did expect them to get a little bit further forward, but really a fantastic team performance with this tactic. Definitely think Enzo Maresca is onto a winner. What a tactic, what a simulation. There it is, guys, my interpretation of the 4-2-3-1 Enzo Maresca Masterclass. I'm going to say Masterclass because with this setup, we're getting goals and assists from all over the team. And defensively, they were absolutely sound, which I didn't really expect that from a Chelsea team. Yes, we were dominating the ball, exactly what we wanted to do. And 2 trophies to show for it at the end of the season. 1 in Europe and a Carabao Cup. And of course, getting that qualification for the Champions League. Not a bad season at all, Chelsea fans. What do you reckon? Will Chelsea's fine form continue in real life? I've got a feeling the only way is up for Chelsea. As always, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.